Welcome back, everyone. In this guide, I'll walk you through creating an embedded request link using the BoldSign PHP SDK. If you're new to BoldSign, I've linked videos in the description below to help you get started with the application. For this video, I'll start by installing the BoldSign PHP SDK in my project. Make sure you have PHP version 7.4 or higher installed. I open my project in Visual Studio Code, launch the terminal, and head to the BoldSign developer documentation. As shown here, you can install the SDK by running the installation command and then running the composer install in the terminal to install the dependencies. Since I have already installed it, I'll confirm the setup by running composer show BoldSign/BoldSign PHP. As you can see, the package is installed and ready to go. To create the embedded request, I navigate to the BoldSign developer documentation on creating an embedded request link, locate the PHP code snippet, and copy and paste it into a new PHP file. Next, I update the code. In the configuration, I set the API key to connect with BoldSign services. If you haven't created your API key yet, you can generate one in the BoldSign web app on the API key page in the API section. Next, I adjust the position of the signature field. I define the signer details using the document signer object. Here, I specify the signer's name and email address, set the signer type to signer, and associate the signature field with this signer. If the document needs multiple signers, you can define additional signers similarly. Now, I create the embedded document request object, which is the main request object used for generating an embedded send request link. I add the document title and set the show toolbar property to true. This makes a toolbar visible in the embedded interface, offering users convenient tools for navigating the document and making final adjustments before sending it out for signature. Next, I'll further customize the request URL. The send view option property configures the initial page to be loaded from the generated URL. You can set this to either the filling page or prepare page. The filling page is used to configure document properties, such as setting signer details and uploading files, while the prepare page is used to configure form fields for the signers. I set the send view option to prepare page, as I already have the document ready and want the sender to review it before sending it for signature. To further enhance the sender's experience, BoldSign provides several toolbar customization options. By default, most toolbar actions are enabled, but you can disable any of them by setting the corresponding property to false. In this video, I'll hide the navigation button by setting show navigation button to false. Since the send view option is set to prepare page and the document is already predefined, users only need to configure form fields on the prepare page, preventing unnecessary navigation back and forth during document creation. And disable tooltips by setting show tooltip to false. Next, I add the document to be sent for signature by specifying its file path. Once all is properly set, I create the embedded request URL and pass in our request object. The response includes a request URL link, which is used to embed the sending experience directly inside our application. The document created using the embedded request will remain in a draft state until the user completes the preparation and sends it out for signature. I copy the generated URL and paste it into a browser. Since send view option is set to prepare page, the document opens directly in the prepare page view, allowing the sender to configure fields and review the document. The navigation buttons are hidden as specified in the code. Now, I will integrate the generated link into an iframe within our application. I navigate to the developer documentation and copy the code snippet for embedding the URL in an iframe. I paste this into my HTML file, set the request URL to the source attribute, adjust its height, and then run the sample. When I open this HTML file in the browser, the prepare page is rendered inside the iframe. This means the document configuration interface is now fully embedded within the application. To customize the toolbar further, I return to the PHP script and set show toolbar to false to hide the default toolbar completely. Instead, I enable specific toolbar actions, send, save, and preview, by setting their properties to true in the request object. I run the script to generate a new embedded request URL with these updated settings and update the iframe source attribute in the HTML output. To bring back key actions in a more customized way, I copy the code for creating custom toolbar buttons from the developer documentation and paste it into the HTML file. I also add the corresponding scripts for the save, preview, and send button actions. These will interact with the iframe to control the embedded request flow. Then, I add the client-side event handlers below the script tag, especially the onCreateSuccess event, which confirms that the document was successfully sent for signing. I add an alert that displays a success message when this event is triggered. I run the sample and open the link in the browser. When I run the PHP script and open it in the browser, the custom toolbar buttons appear. I can preview the document and exit the preview by clicking the Exit Preview button. I can save changes with the Save button and send the document for signing with the Send button. Once a document is sent, the onCreateSuccess event triggers, showing an alert confirming that the document was successfully sent for signature. That's it. You can now create and customize an embedded request link in your application using the BoldSign PHP SDK. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned to our channel for more BoldSign API tutorial videos.